Hayao Miyazaki always said that he wasn't interested in making money or making blockbusters. But people are trying to get Hayao Miyazaki to work by fishing him in with a profitable story. He, who said he was creating a once-in-a-lifetime experience for kids in a movie theater, decided to be a part of making money. So this is such a message as best he could. One of the underlying themes of Spirited Away is a criticism of Ghibli, which was busy making money at the time. It's also an anti-Toshio Suzuki film. The story that Spirited Away is based on the sex industry and hostess bars was inspired by an interview with Toshio Suzuki. This is the story he told to Hayao Miyazaki. Girls can talk to customers in a few weeks when they work in hostess bars. Hayao Miyazaki was incredibly impressed and said, "We, Ghibli, are similar. As they create things together, everyone becomes more comfortable talking to others." That was all he wanted to say. In fact, that was the only part that Hayao Miyazaki sympathized with. But if Ghibli says that Japan today is like a hostess bar or the sex industry, the media will pick it up and it will be very popular. Toshio Suzuki's advertising approach, as he did with Tales from Earthsea, uses the method used for a weekly magazine. His method of advertising is to distort the essence of the story to make it easy to understand and catchy. For example, the theme of the tale of the Princess Kaguya was set as the crime and punishment of Princess Kaguya despite Isao Takahata's objections. So he went ahead and promoted it, and they had a big fight. Since then, Isao Takahata has stopped talking about the promotion of the tale of the Princess Kaguya. Also, Hayao Miyazaki said that Princess Mononoke was a story with Ashitaka, titled as The Legend of Ashitaka, but Toshio Suzuki previously announced the title as Princess Mononoke at a press conference. This is one of the reasons why the story of Princess Mononoke itself is misunderstood. As I mentioned earlier, with Tales from Earthsea, the media reported that Hayao Miyazaki and Goro Miyazaki did not get along, so Toshio Suzuki took advantage of that and deliberately tried to attract attention by saying things like, "Tales from Earthsea is a story about the murdering father, and Goro Miyazaki is denying Hayao Miyazaki." It's really like the way weekly magazines do it. From that time on, Hayao Miyazaki began to create stories that only he could understand. The structure of the animation became strongly autoristic. But if Hayao Miyazaki made an animation for himself, it would not become a blockbuster like Princess Mononoke. It's like Hayao Miyazaki's personal novel, but without the sociality. Critics won't read too much into it if it doesn't look like social criticism. And that's where Toshio Suzuki starts to mislead us with advertising. At an early stage, Toshio Suzuki realized that Hayao Miyazaki was about to change direction and make a film like his private life novel. He thought, if we don't give this a setting like Princess Mononoke, where there is social criticism, it will never be a blockbuster. Then Toshio Suzuki starts saying that Yuya is an analogy for the sex industry or a hostess bar. It is his misleading advertising. Then the critics got it exactly the way he wanted it, and they got it wrong, including me. So no one can tell that the story is about an animation studio. This scene of devouring rice balls. Chihiro in Spirited Away is actually a child who has no desires from the beginning. Hayao Miyazaki said at the time of the release of Princess Mononoke that he was not interested in money and that he was not trying to make a blockbuster. But people try to get Hayao Miyazaki to work by telling him how to have more hits and make more money. In contrast, Hayao Miyazaki kept saying that he didn't need to make more money and that he wasn't in it for the money. But the fact is, if you don't have the money, you don't have the power. Just like you can't move when you're hungry. They can't even pay the animators. Since the end of Kiki's delivery service, Hayao Miyazaki tried to make animators full-time employees. And that costs a lot of money. Without money, he can't make the works he likes. So he began to affirm his hidden desires within himself. He thought he was keeping it to himself. What I just said about Hayao Miyazaki not being interested in money and not being very interested in blockbusters is just what he says. but in fact he is a person who cares more about how much money he makes than anyone else. This is because he had a very painful experience when the animation he created with all his might for the Castle of Cagliostro was not a success at all, and he was cut off from the industry for about 5 years. So he is concerned about how popular his work is. But as before, Miyazaki is not really interested in how much money he gets. He says the curry-flavored cup noodles are one of the best dishes for him. Eating such salty food behind his wife's back is the best kind of feast, he says. A documentary showed a scene of him gleefully eating it. He really is the kind of person who can be satisfied with cheap things. He doesn't care how much money he really has. But he's really interested or obsessed with how popular Ghibli animation is. He is very interested in whether he won or lost against Isao Takahata. So here's the story. The rice ball that Haku made became a figurine that is a free gift for the DVD. This is like a joke, isn't it? When the idea of attaching figurines to DVDs as gifts came up, Hayao Miyazaki was very upset about the release of DVDs, and he was also very upset about the idea of attaching toys as gifts. When he finally accepted the idea, the gift was a rice ball. You'd think, what the heck, wouldn't you? I thought so too. So I didn't need it at that time. I later wanted it so badly that I bought it at an auction. Anyway, free gifts for DVD are unacceptable for Hayao Miyazaki. First, he was against selling his work on video. You only get to see it once in your life in a movie theater. I'm creating a once-in-a-lifetime experience for kids. But what the hell are you doing selling videos? Damn laser discs. Damn DVDs. He was so angry. More and more unacceptable things were happening, and he couldn't tolerate the gift toy for DVDs any longer. But he finally decided to be a part of it. No matter how hard he tries to stop them, they still do it. This is also the way to keep Studio Ghibli running. It would cost billions of yen to build the Ghibli museum that he was so obsessed with when he was making Spirited Away. And that money comes from the money-making that he hated and despised. The money he earns enables him to create works. So this rice ball figurine is a message from Hayao Miyazaki that he decided to be a part of this money-making business. It is the same as when Chihiro realized her desire and devoured a rice ball with both hands. It shows her discovering the power of life by eating in a dirty way.